Hey guys, Dan Pickar here with another gear review. We have the Prime Form, the newly released 30, and then we have the 34 that was also released this winter. So, gear reviews, we do a ton of them here on Eastmans Hunting Journal's YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe, check out our other bow reviews, speed tests, all the great things that we have to offer on the channel, including Beyond the Grid, new season of elk hunting coming up in July. So make sure you check that out as well. So let's get right to it. The Prime Form 30. At first glance, I was like, what in the world is going on? We have carbon rods and we have a aluminum riser. We have a little bit of both. What is happening here? So what I didn't know is that even full construction carbon bows also have some form of component of aluminum within the riser. You just can't see it because it's wrapped in carbon. And that is specifically in the grip area. This is where all the stress is happening, where your hand is. That's your point of resistance when you're drawing the bow. So there's a lot of forces going on in the grip area. And so that's why we have the alloy here that's kept from basically the sight attachment area down to where your stabilizer is going to go. And then you have carbon rods on either end. And on the 34, naturally, you're gonna have longer carbon rods. But the purpose of these carbon rods are 47.5%, I'm gonna call it 48% more stiff of a riser. So less flex, less knock travel, all the things that you don't want in a riser is flex. So this is a stiff riser by, half is more than what they've built in the past. So that's a pretty big jump. In addition, by adding these areas of carbon, obviously we know that carbon is super lightweight and very strong. We've trimmed almost a half a pound off these Prime bows. So that's pretty substantial. So you have increased rigidity and a pretty good reduction of weight. So this Form 30 bare bow weighs 4 pounds and the 34 is 4.1 pounds. So yeah, pretty good weight reduction. And a 30-inch bow, that's a pretty big difference to a 34-inch bow. What you're gonna get with a shorter bow is a harsher string angle at full draw, right? So theoretically, less forgiving. I prefer the shorter bows. They're more packable, whether I'm riding a horse, whether I'm on a bike. I strap it to my back. I don't have the length to deal with of a 34-inch riser. And you get a little bit more performance, a little bit more speed out of a shorter bow normally. So that's why I prefer a 30-inch bow. I don't really see too much of the detriment of accuracy at distance with these short bows. 6.25-inch brace height on both of these, but I just don't see the detriment in it. And I don't shoot long range enough, especially hunting. I make my living getting close. That's why I love bow hunting. I love getting close. So the forgiveness factor that somebody might say on paper, I don't really consider that a factor with my style of hunting and what I look for in a bow. So you might be different, but that's kind of how I look at it. Okay, the core cam system. That's what we've seen here on the Form, on the RVX and the RVX Plus of this year. It's been around for a couple years. Not only do they have these new mods now, so they're draw length specific and they have their performance mod. And what that allows is more efficiency. You don't have the convenience of having a rotating mod where you can adjust the draw length on the fly, but what you give up with that is efficiency, and that's what they've kind of gotten rid of with this is you have your draw length specific mod and you're gonna get a little bit more performance out of your setup. So that's new from this year and that's pretty cool. So what we also have with the core cam system is the ability for these cables to be in line with the bowstring and the cam at full draw. And what they did is they made the cable track, basically, it's hard to explain, but it's slanting in. So as you go through the draw cycle, these cables are tracked in to be in line. And what that reduces is any of this flex or cam lean in your bow setup. So you don't have to worry or deal with cam lean because of those cables pulling against the cam at full draw when all the pressure is on the limbs at full draw. So that just allows less knock travel vertically and horizontally, and essentially your bow is going to tune easier. So that's a pretty cool feature that we still see from Prime, and the reason why they got rid of the dual track cam system of several years ago now, because they were able to solve that with a single cam and cut some weight. So yeah, pretty cool there. So core cam system, new mods. We have the carbon integrated with the riser, and we have the two offerings, the 34 and the 30. So pretty cool little package. You get them, man, you got a little bit of carbon, you got a little bit of alloy, and you have your nano grip technology, warm to the touch, space age, aircraft material, a compound that is warm to the touch, and a nice flat grip, so it's comfortable. And when you're packing it in the cold weather, it doesn't feel cold to the touch, much like a alloy riser would. So another cool feature on these new Prime forms is the quick tune system. And these are just 2 screws on each limb that can be loosened, and then you can adjust your cam on the axle and essentially slide your axle to tune your bow. So you can do this at the range, no need to go to a bow shop, no bow press. You can do it all right here, so pretty cool. Okay, also new for this year is the Prime RVX Plus. We had the RVX last year, but it has the new features of the cam, the draw specific mods, and then the quick tune technology on the limbs, and also the Mossy Oak Bottomland camo. So that's a new feature on Prime this year, and this is the RVX Plus 32. So it's in between the 34 of the form and the 30 down there on the ground, the form 30. So check that out too. And one thing I wanted to touch on as well is the swerve, right? This is also a Prime feature that you'll see. You have the bend in the riser on the top, and then you have the bend in the riser on the bottom. And that just helps with rigidity of the bow, and also helps reduce horizontal and vertical knock travel. And they mimic the same thing with the carbon rod. So you essentially also have the swerve on the bottom, just like you do on the top. So that's another difference that you'll see with the form compared to the RVX Plus. So we got these 2 bows. Let's see what they're shooting. This has the performance mod, but other than that, 29-inch draw, 70 pounds, IBOs in the 330s, the upper 330s. Let's see what we get. So let's head over to the Garmin and see what we get. Okay, here we are, Prime Form 30. This is the short bow. I like these packable bows. Put them on your backpack, riding a horse, dirt bike, e-bike, whatever. It's just more packable. I like them. So we're gonna shoot it first. We have a 437 grain arrow, 300 spine on a 29-inch draw, 70 pounds, 30-inch bow. Let's see how stiff this draw. You know, these shorter bows tend to have a bit more of a feel of a stiffer 70-pound pull than like a longer bow. So let's see what we, it's not bad. It doesn't seem crazy stiff. I might be used to a short bow because I like the short bows, but let's see what we get here. .285 on the nose. Okay, that's pretty good. All right, let's do the Form 34. This is the longer version. You know, with these Garmin Zeros, they're so accurate and precise. I'm not gonna shoot a grouping of arrows. I've shot it enough. It's very accurate, very precise. The days of the old chronograph with the, you know, the shades and everything are over. If you don't have a Garmin Zero, get you one because it's a game changer. Okay, same arrow, different bow, 34-inch, 29-inch draw, 70 pounds, 437 grain arrow. Let's see what it does. Man, the draw, it feels very similar to the 30-inch as far as difficulty. You can see that the string angle is less harsh, obviously because the longer axle to axle, but yeah, it feels good. Let's see what we get here. All right, 287 feet per second, 2 feet per second faster. So there you have it, the Form 34 and the Form 30. Surprising to me that the Form 34 was 2 feet per second faster than the 30. 285 to 287 is what we got on both of these, so very similar. Both very pleasurable to shoot, dead in the hand, nice smooth draw. I like that nice firm feel back wall. So go check them out. The Form 30 and the 34 at your local pro shop. Shoot one, feel it, test it. That's what it's all about. We're spoiled these days with the quality of technology and how far it's come. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Give me a like, leave me a comment down below. Maybe let me know what bow you're shooting this year, and we'll see you on the next one.